The one and only Stephanie Hypes joins us on the program. What's going on? Thank you so much for joining us, and happy International Women's Day. I know it's tomorrow, but thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me. First of all, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I certainly can. I certainly can.
Awesome.
I just got
Awesome.
some good news pertaining to the WWE. They're announcing that
Ooh,
Memorial Day weekend's coming to Tampa, baby. I can't wait. Main event,
no.
Battleground, Monday Night Raw, NXT. John Cena's going to be on Saturday night's main event. I mean, Stephanie, right now, I mean, WWE it's as hot as it's been in a long time here in the last 12 months.
Dude, it's insane. Like I feel like it's like a whole nother world. Like literally, I think 2, 3 years ago, as a longtime WWE fan, you can admit it was bad. It was bad. Yeah, it was a little rough. And so honestly, this Triple H era and him taking over and trying to find his way, find his groove, figure out what works for him, has it all been perfect? Absolutely not. But you can tell he's starting to understand. He's starting to listen to fans a little more. You can tell he's kind of chronically online. He makes comments all the time about stuff that we say online, which is pretty funny. Um, but the fact they're actually trying to listen to that, right? Because you people always credited Tony Khan for listening to his fans, and Vince was never doing that. And that could be either hit or miss. Sometimes it was great, and sometimes it was a big flop. A lot of times, especially towards the end there. So Triple H trying to find his footing as head of creative, head booker. I don't know. I think he's doing a great job. There's still a lot of room for improvement. Obviously, as most people, if anyone knows me, knows how much I love the women in pro wrestling, and
Yes.
so that's also very hit or miss, even in the Triple H era. So
Right.
obviously, we'll see how it goes. But there's a lot of great things happening, and I'm excited. I'm very busy these days, so I can't be online all the time talking about it.
Mhm.
But I'm watching. I'm tuned in, and
Girl, you tweet a
absolutely
lot.
love it.
Don't say you're not. You tweet a lot. You are on it. You are on it. I love it. You have every time I think of something and I see, I'm like, this girl, she just opinions for days. I love it. I mean, you're doing it. You're doing it big. Let's listen. We'll talk about the John Cena heel turn in a second, but it is International Women's Day tomorrow. We're celebrating all the lovely ladies today on the program. I even had my mom calling in at 1 o'clock describing
Hey, what's come on?
describing my crazy on how the heck I got into wrestling by myself when I was a little kid. None of my friends, none of my dad, nobody. That was my whole thing. I decided that on my own. But let's get into the women. And I want to ask you about the Jade Cargill story. And I
Yes.
had former WWE, just everything talent, Jonathan Coachman on last Friday. And I said, Coach, I think Jade Cargill comes back. And he goes, really? And I go, yeah, I think it's going to happen either at the beginning of the match or the end of the match. And when that music came on, it was just pure cinema. Looking at Liv Morgan, looking at Naomi, looking at Bianca Belair. And then she came in. And when you do something like that, you can't leave. And that's what I love about what Jay did and about what John Cena did. It wasn't like,
Yeah.
oh, they missed a punch or, oh, they did this. Like, that was a ass beaten sandwich with two pieces of bread in the beginning of the night and the end of the night. And Jade looked like $1,000,000. And listen, we know Jade has her shortcomings in the ring. She doesn't have the experience of everybody else. That's going to come with time. She's got the look,
Yeah.
she's got the charisma, incredible athlete. And then I just love how that whole thing, because now for me, I look at that and I go, I don't think Naomi did it. Because if she does do it and without saying anything, then I think it ends there. But I think there's more to this story. There's more chicken left on the bone there of now, I'm starting to see maybe people think Bailey's involved and, maybe Bianca was throwing people off the scent. Maybe it's somebody that we're not even talking about. What do you make of that entire situation? Not just, her performance day when she returned there at the Elimination Chamber, but the whole storyline.
I mean, this is what we've been asking for, right?
Right.
Obviously, we want women to have more time on the shows. Obviously, we want them to have longer matches. That's all important. But more so, at least for me as a fan, I love stories. I
Right.
love something that gets my mind going, gets me thinking, gets my little suspicions up. And that's exactly what the story does. It involves multiple women, and it does have people talking about it online, right? Oh, like, and I'm totally like investigator, like I'm Sherlock Stephanie. Like I'm like, hold on, did you see this look? Did you see
Mhm.
this video? Like I'm one of the people who will interpret everything. It's what I
Right.
love to do. I love to like be surprised, but I also love to try and figure things out. and I love being swerved, right? Like I can think something's going one way and it's completely different. So I'm actually hoping for these ladies that this story isn't just a crystal clear
Right.
answer. I hope there's layers. I hope there's things we're just not seeing. I'm hoping that just like the bloodline story, right? That had so many twists and turns and you didn't know where it was going and that's what made it exciting. And I want the same thing for the ladies in the locker room. I want them to have some great storylines on all levels, from the top to the bottom. And I want them to have great matches, right? So I'm excited. I love how she returned. Liv acting her butt off, like no, no,
Mhm.
like no, it's not me, like whatever. And then us all thinking she's going to attack Liv, and she doesn't. And she attacks Naomi, and so obviously people are like, "Oh, I told you it was Naomi," and I'm like, "Hold on, pump your
Mhm.
brakes." I was like, "This could be to throw you off for all we know." So I don't know who it is, obviously. I want it to be Bianca. I want her to be like the mastermind behind all this.
Right.
She was very schemy, even with like the Rhea and Io situation. So like
Mhm.
I feel like there could be layers to things here. Um and if this gives Naomi and Jade a good story and match, a non-title good story and match, that's the best thing that could come out of this for me, because Naomi has always talked about wanting a story she can really sink her teeth
Right.
into, and she's never had that since she's been in WWE. And it looks like she's finally kind of getting that. So I'm excited to see what happens. But Jade's return, that was done perfectly. No really words were said. I think tonight Bianca tweeted today that hopefully she'll get some answers tonight.
Mhm.
So I think we'll get the next chapter, if you will, in this story to kind of see what direction they're going. But I'm excited.
Yeah, me too.
Uh,
And I hope maybe it is Naomi, right? Like that's the thing is everybody. I think a lot of people are like myself, like, oh well, maybe it is Naomi. Maybe we don't see her for a while, and all of a sudden she comes back and she's wearing like jet black lipstick, complete opposite of feeling the glow, right? Like I always wanted her
yeah,
to be part of the bloodline storyline a little bit and have her own little Naomi penitentiary, right? The Uso, like one of her with maybe like almost like how Meech's character was with the bandana over her face. Like I always thought
yeah,
that that could have
yeah.
been pretty badass for Naomi, but a great way to start Elimination Chamber. And then the way it ended with John Cena and Travis Scott and The Rock and Cody Rhodes. Like, I mean, you walk away from that, or I don't know if anybody was sitting down at the end of Elimination Chamber, but that's one of those things where you're like, it's a chef's kiss. Even if you thought it could have happened, that's one of those things that you're not going to believe it until you see it. John Cena, hustle, loyalty, and respect. Now with lazy, disloyal, disrespectful. I mean, this that's why we get into it, right, Steph? I mean, Sherlock Steph, sometimes even if after the case is unveiled, you just sit there and you go, that's why I'm here. I'm here. Count me in.
Well, that's the thing. So I actually forgotten that I posted it, but I went and posted it, or someone liked it. You know, someone
Mhm.
likes your post that you
Right.
posted like weeks or months ago, and you're like, oh yeah. And so someone liked it, and I was like, what is this? And I had actually posted. John Cena had posted a video, a picture of, oh my gosh, not Thundercats. Oh my god, Conan, but the barbarian guy.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And he's drinking with the bad guy, like he's like
Mhm.
having a drink with the bad. And I was like, there's no way John Cena's turning heel his last run, right? I'm like,
Mhm.
because it really is seeming like between that promo after Royal Rumble
Right.
and where he barely talked to anyone, and he was like dead serious, and he was like, it's best for business and all these things. And I'm like, between that and him posting these like he's having drinks with the enemy type meme, and so I had posted on Twitter. I was like, "There's no way that he's turning heel, right?" I'm like, "Cause this is that would be. There's no way, because
Right.
it's been 30 plus years he's been a face, and I'm like, there's no way." And so, I mean, I never posted the video. I just realized of my reaction, but I don't know. I wasn't breathing. Like I was like,
Mhm.
I was just sitting. I'm like, no way, no way. And I'm like in a hotel because we're visiting my grandfather, and I'm like trying to keep it down because I don't want, but I like screamed at some point. Like I was like, no, father! Like I'm just like in shock. And my mom's like, Stephanie, like, and I'm like, what? She's like, you're so loud. I was like, sorry. I'm like, Mom, John Cena went. So you mentioned moms, by the way. I'm pivoting
Mhm.
here. My mom is the one that got me into wrestling. I was 6 years
Wow.
old,
Okay.
and she loved the Undertaker. And so she'd always watch for the Undertaker, and I like eventually got curious, and I'm like, "What are you watching? Like, what is this?" Um, and then I started seeing like the tag teams, like Bubba Ray and Devon and LOD, which was my favorite. I love Legion of Doom; it's my favorite tag team ever. And the Hardy Boys, of course. And like I saw all these, and I started falling in love with the tag team matches. And so she's the one that actually got me into it. So shout out to mom because you're the one
There
that
you
got me
go.
into wrestling back at
Hmm.
6 years old. And then she kind of fell off, and I stuck with it. So um, so shout out to her. But it's just one of those things where I don't know. Actually, I don't know where I was going with this, but I don't know. She got me into it. She got me into the stories. I loved Undertaker and Kane back then. I love a story,
Right.
and I feel like that's where this is going. John Cena. I don't know. I don't know, man.
He's
I
not going
was
to
in
shave his
shock.
head, is he? Is he going to shave his head? That's the next thing
I
I'm seeing on social media.
Someone said he's gonna come out in black jorts. I'm like, stop it.
Yeah,
Not
he
the
needs to
black
just make him.
jorts.
I want to maybe he needs to be some
Dude,
weird like he needs to wear like a suit with no sleeves, or he needs to be really
what if
antithesis
he
of
wears
what
a
John Cena's all
what
about.
if he wears a suit up top and jorts on the bottom, like black jorts?
It can't
And
be
like,
endearing at all. It can't be endearing at all. It's got
I
I don't even
know.
want to like. He can't go back to the doctor of thugonomics because people are going to like that. He needs to be very plain.
Correct.
Maybe staying with the jorts. Maybe like right. That's the thing about WWE. As much as the swerve, sometimes I think we overthink it, right? Because we overanalyze it so
Correct.
much, and sometimes the easy answer, just like we saw with John Cena, Rock, and Cody, they're fighting each other, and then the trailer behind him had John Cena. Like it was this
Yeah,
house of loyalty and respect of
it's
staring us right in
very
the face.
subtle, very subtle. And yeah, maybe sticks to the jorts and wears like a plain t-shirt. Like someone said that his towel should say "give up" on them. I'm like, stop it, guys.
I like, yeah, give up. My time. It's my time, not your time on the
It's
front.
my time, not your time. I'm
I
like,
love it.
Jesus.
At Stephanie
Oh,
Hypes on all social media platforms. Follow her. She has some incredible content. WWE and just all of her opinions are just so much fun. Never a dull moment. Stephanie, thank you so much for joining us today at International Women's Day. Nice to finally talk to you face to face. We'll definitely keep in touch and we'll do this again sometime. Have a great weekend.
absolutely. And I'll be at WrestleMania. So anyone in Vegas, I'll see you there.
Holla at your girl. Thanks, Stephanie.
Bye.
Bye.